about 3 years ago, I started to dabble in code. So I'm doing a lot of artwork that involves like interactive things and also just thinking about redesigning platforms for marginalized people. So what brought me to TED was the idea that I would have the space to continue to expand those ideas. Well, this is the myth of like the artist or the creative that works like in isolation. I'm the complete opposite. I like to see and talk to people and think about people. And so this space, I knew this space could give me that in terms of just like advancing my ideas, because I sometimes have these wild ideas that I can't necessarily verbalize immediately. And the more I talk to people, the more I see how people react to my ideas, the more I can gather solid words to describe this thing. So much has shifted and grown. I came to TED with a project called Coding Comic, which is a digital comic I'm working on. It's a digital comic that unfolds, as you saw, of code logic riddles. And it's supposed to teach 8 to 10-year-old kids how to code logic through comics, basically through narrative. While I was here, I just kept thinking about why I want to make Coding Comic. And I thought it was obvious, but it wasn't that obvious, or at least I wasn't digging. There was something deeper than what I thought was the obvious, which was like, I want kids to learn code logic because code is the future and tech is the future. Okay. Then I started to dig deeper and say, I want marginalized folks to be able to have like power in tech. So what does that look like? And then I started to say tools, and no one understood what tools meant. Tools were, I wasn't referring to tools as like a hammer, but as code. And so what can that look like? And I started to think, well, the tools of code are the programming languages. And what does it mean to understand a language and be able to manipulate a language, I think was important to me. During this time, I realized that I'm going to be developing this library called Code Slang, so you can program in slang in order to teach code. I believe in higher education, right? It's given me the privilege to think about my identity, how I want to walk through this world, what my purpose is, right? But not everyone has that. And nor should you have the privilege to think about yourself because you go to higher ed, right? Or like you've been through higher education. So although it's given me the privilege and I'm super thankful and blessed for it, it doesn't mean that that's everyone's path. The reason why I keep thinking about tools is that tools can be taught, especially in code. Like code can be taught without necessarily sitting in a classroom or a traditional classroom, right? Your classroom becomes your cell phone or your personalized computer. And so that is really important to me. And what code has done for me is showed me really how things work. And even if I don't understand the specifics, I understand theoretically the mechanisms of how something works. And that's empowering because then you can hack that, right? And if you can hack that, you can start imagining something bigger, something else. And to me, that's powerful.